We're talking to Pat McAfee here on CBS Sports Radio. Pat, you're a West Virginia grad, right? That's where you played.
Well, grad is a interesting term, but I went to West Virginia.
Okay, I was being nice, giving you the benefit of the doubt. So you went to a few parties and you punted at West Virginia. Listen, just quickly, is Geno Smith, is he going to be a decent NFL quarterback? Is he going to be good?
I think the thing about Geno is he can make every throw. You know, when you saw him in college, he was just throwing the ball all over the yard there with Dana Holgerson's offense. Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey blew up, and they're guys who are about to erupt in the NFL. So I think if you can make every throw, and I have a saying, Vinatieri and I kind of have the saying, if you can do something one time, you can do it 100 times. It's just whether you want to focus in the other 99 times. Mm-hmm. So I think Geno Smith can make it happen. I was really excited to see him this year because keeping up with him on social media, it seemed like he was working his ass off this offseason.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see him come back. It's an unfortunate incident to happen in your locker room. Obviously, you don't want that to ever happen. But I'm excited to see him come back and see where he's at. I'm a fan of Geno because he's a West Virginia guy.
Yeah, it's interesting when I was listening to you talk about Peyton and Andrew Luck. The same kind of applied to Eli when I was with him with the Giants for a while. There was this humility, even though they were great and heading towards the stardom that they had. There was this humility, but you don't see that with a lot of with some of these younger. And I'm gonna say a lot of them, but I'm gonna say some of these younger quarterbacks. Geno seemed like he was a little bit cocky in the locker room. RG3 kind of feels like he's a little bit cocky in the locker room. That really matters, especially at that position. You wouldn't think of it that way though.
Well, I don't know how Geno or any other guys operate in the locker room. I think you would have to ask their teammates for that.
Yeah.
But I think in the game of the NFL, the quarterback is your go-to guy. He is the point man in the game. He touches the ball every single play. He's going to make $100 million if he's good. I mean, it's one of those things where in the NFL, your quarterback has to be the leader. He is the leader, no matter what. So if you have a guy who's a hard worker, a humble person, I think everybody else follows suit. And I've been very fortunate to have that here in Indianapolis for the past 7 years and hopefully for years to come. But I think in the NFL and in locker rooms, you have a lot more really, really good guys than bad guys. Just negativity hogs publicity most often than not.
Yeah, true.
Hey, Pat, need a real honest answer here, and you seem like the kind of guy who's going to give us one. Let's face it, your chief competition to have home field advantage, if things go right and people stay healthy and all that, probably the Pats, maybe the Ravens, maybe the Texans, interesting. But the Pats certainly first and foremost. You have to be following the Brady saga a little bit with Deflategate. So here's my question. Because if he's out, they probably don't win as much. Are you rooting for him to miss games as a competitor?
Well, you left out the Broncos, too.
My bad. Denver, yes, my bad.
Yeah, you left out the Broncos.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if you have Peyton Manning at quarterback, they're always going to be a good team.
Agreed, obviously.
When it comes to the rulings and all that stuff, federal court, all that I hope is that Tom Brady can somehow be suspended one game and one game only, and that's when he plays us.
I like the answer.
That's a good answer.
We're kind of sticking to our own business, trying to be great here in Indianapolis. But all that stuff is taken care of by somebody who's paid much better than I am, smarter than I am, all that other stuff. But it's definitely an interesting situation, and we're all kind of watching around the league because when you're talking about one of the best players to ever play the game, one of the best teams to ever play the game, I think that's going to catch everybody's attention.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I wish we were talking to you out of season instead of in season because I know what your focus is right now, getting ready to head into your second preseason game. Because I always wonder now. I mean, I've been out of the league for so long. The connection's not there with the feel, the pulse of the players. If they feel like the league and Roger Goodell specifically is overstepping himself a little bit, especially because this felt like nothing. Maybe for kicking balls, maybe for the balls you use, it matters the deflation levels or the PSIs. But for a quarterback, it just feels like a non-story that got so big and it's engulfing what we're talking about still.
Well, it's crazy because this is kind of the NFL machine, right? I think the NFL has figured out a way to kind of dominate headlines year-round. And that's, I think it's because our game is so great. I think it's because we have so many great players. But I also think it's because our fans are just so incredible. They're so loyal. They want to know every little thing. So even something that seems small or might have been small like a decade ago is now a huge deal for any little situation to pop up. I mean, in the middle of July, I think, at one point, if you looked on Twitter, the NFL owned 9 of the top 10 trending topics.
Yeah.
And I think that's just that's all a credit to our fans, but I think that's the NFL machine, and that's we all feel very lucky to be in the NFL. Now, obviously, Tiki, even when you're in the locker room, there are a lot of things that we think are kind of unfair or different, or we go, no, this doesn't seem right. But I think at the end of the day, the NFL can figure things out. We're going to work through it because really the owners need the players and the players need the owners for us to continue to become this monster machine. And I think once we get past the fight over every little thing like Democrats and Republicans, we start working together more, I think our league will become a much more efficient operation.
Pat,
Agreed.
a great spot, a fun attitude, and very good personality. Just do us a favor, don't pull your hamstring when you trot out one of those 13 times to punt at some point today, right? This season, okay?
We had 8 this past week. We could have had 11. So I'm getting old, man. I don't know if I can do it again, but the preseason's a fun time to put on a show, kind of hit some dingers, hit some home runs out there. That's what it's all about, and find some guys that can cover kicks. But thank you guys so much for coming on. I've been such a huge fan of your TV for a long time, man. You're a trailblazer for what to do off the field.
I appreciate you, Pat, man. And I enjoy you on the field, obviously, but also all the stuff that you're doing off of it as well. It's hard to do that sit-down McAfee show. I don't know if anybody saw it, but go find it on YouTube. It's hilarious, and I know it's hard to do that. So kudos, my friend.
Hey, thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Pat.